Landice E7, E9, Elliptical Assembly Video. Introducing the new E7, E9, 90 Series Elliptical. Before you begin the assembly, please make sure you read the assembly manual thoroughly, as it contains important safety warnings and assembly tips. Please note that there are some steps in the assembly process that might require two people to help with the assembly. Some components of the machine may be heavy. Please use a second person when doing assembly involving these parts. Unpacking and installation of the elliptical should be done by a qualified technician. For assembly assistance, please visit us online or give us a call. Begin by selecting an area where you are going to set up and operate your machine. For safe operation, the machine must be located on a hard, level surface. Please allow a minimum work area of 3 to 5 feet working space to safely remove the box and pallet. When choosing a workout area, make sure you leave enough ample clearance around and above the elliptical. Start by moving the shipping crate to a safe, dry area. The shipping crate is heavy and might not be able to fit inside your workout area. Therefore, it is recommended that with some assistance, you move the shipping crate as close as possible to your assembly area. Next, remove the parts from the shipping crate and move the individual parts to the final assembly location. The packaged elliptical is very heavy and should be set with ample clearance around the elliptical. Visually inspect that all 6 leveling feet are properly leveled and fully attached. Verify the stability of the equipment by adjusting the feet as required. Check the assembly manual for a complete parts list. The following tools are recommended for this assembly. Most Allen keys required to complete the installation can be found inside the hardware kit. Step 1. Installing the upright. Begin step 1 by locating the upright, and with some assistance, place it on top of the frame mounts. Slowly slide the upright into place, and make sure the alignment pin, located on top of the frame mounts, inserts through the holes located on the base plate of each upright. While attaching the upright, route the harness, found in the right leg tube, using the harness guide wire. Guide the harness using the guide wire, through the leg tube, and out through the lower access hole on the frame mount. Make sure to pull the harness guide wire out with enough slack, and try not to crimp the cables. Next, secure the upright using 4 M10x40 hex head bolts, 4 M10 spring washers, and 4 M10 flat washers per leg. Hand tighten the bolts for now. Loosely tighten the hardware on both sides. Step 1 is now complete. Step 2, installing the side rails. Begin step 2 by locating the fixed handrails. Next, locate the O-ring gaskets found in the hardware kit, and attach one onto each fixed handrail. Slowly slide each O-ring gasket from the bottom where the holes are located on the fixed handrails. Next, take the fixed handrails and attach them to the upright mounting points, as well as to the bottom, back side of the frame. Slowly push each handrail into place. Attach the fixed handrails onto the upright mounting points using 2 M8x20 button head cap screws, 2 M8 split washers, and 2 M8 flat washers per each side rail. Hand tighten the hardware for now. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Next, secure the lower portion of the handrails using 3 M10x75 hex head bolts, 3 M10 spring washers, and 3 M11 flat washers. Insert the hardware and hand tighten the hardware for now. Repeat these steps for the opposite side, and secure the opposite lower portion of the rail. Once both fixed hand rails are secured, proceed to fully tighten the bolts. Fully tighten the bolts using a socket wrench, or using a power tool with a 13mm standard socket. Next, locate the top portion of the rails, and fully tighten the bolts using the 8mm Allen key. Finally, go back to the upright hardware that was installed in step 1, and fully tighten the bolts using a socket wrench, or using a power tool with a 13mm standard socket. Once all hardware is tightly secured, step 2 is now complete. Step 3, routing and connecting the console power harness. Begin step 3 by routing the console power harness along the base frame perimeter, and lock it in place with the attached harness clips. Ensure that the harness is intact and that it is not crimped while routing it along the perimeter of the base frame. Next, connect the console power harness to the upper harness connector. When done correctly, the cables should snap together with ease. Step 3 is now complete. Step 4, attaching the cup holder and the contact heart rate bar assembly. Begin step 4 by locating the cup holder assembly and aligning it on top of the upright mounting plate. Lower the cup holder into place. Make sure the main harness is routed to the center of the console access hole. Next, locate the bottom side of the mounting plate and fully attach the cup holder assembly using 6M5x15 Phillips crosshead screws. Insert the screws through the mounting plate and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Take care not to over-tighten the screws. Next, attach the contact heart rate bar assembly to the bottom of the upright mounting plate. Push the bar assembly into place, and make sure the contact heart rate bar harness goes through the bottom mounting plate. Pull the contact heart rate bar harness out through the top hole of the cup holder. Next, fully secure the contact heart rate bar using 4 M8x55 hex head bolts, 4 M8 spring washers, and 4 M8 flat washers. Insert the hardware through the allocated holes on the bar assembly. Fully tighten the bolts using a socket wrench, or using a power tool with a 10mm standard socket. Step 4 is now complete. Step 5, attaching the console. Begin step 5 by locating the console assembly and aligning it on top, right in the center of the cup holder. Prior to installing the console, locate the bottom main console harness and the heart rate harness, and connect them to the proper harness wires sticking out the cup holder center hole. When done properly, the harness wires should connect with ease. Once the wires are connected, slowly lower the console into place. Make sure the side studs enter the receptacle holes in the mounting plate as you lower down the console assembly. Next, fully secure the console using 2 M6x55 hex head zinc coated screws in the front, 2 M6x60 hex head black oxide screws in the rear, 4 M6 split washers, and 4 M6 flat washers. Insert the bolts through the bottom allocated holes on the mounting plate. Fully tighten the bolts using a socket wrench, or using a power tool with a 3/8 standard socket. Take care not to over-tighten the screws. Once all hardware has been tightly secured, step 5 is now complete. Step 6, installing the stride arms, crank arms, and foot pedals. Begin step 6 by locating the left vertical stride arm and placing it in the inside of the elliptical. Attach the vertical stride arm to the upright center crossbar mounting points. Push and hold in place the center of the stride arm in between the two left plates. Secure the stride arm using 1 M12x30 hex head bolt, 1 M12 split washer, and 1 M12 flat washer on each side of the stride arm. The bolts must be tightened simultaneously until they are fully secured. Fully tighten the bolts using a socket wrench with a 13mm socket on each bolt. Repeat these steps and fully secure the right vertical stride arm. Once both vertical stride arms are fully attached, locate the lower, left crank arm. There is a label on the arm, labeled L for left. Make sure you use the correct arm. The top portion of the crank arm gets attached into the vertical arm mounting stud, while the lower portion of the crank arm connects to the bearing assembly, located on the back. Slowly push, and slide the crank arm into place. Secure the bottom portion to the bearing assembly, using 4 M8x15 socket head cap screws. Insert 2 screws onto the top holes and 2 to the bottom 2 holes. Fully tighten the screws using the provided number 8 Allen key. Repeat these steps, and fully attach the right crank arm. Next, secure the top portion of the crank arm using 1 M10 flat washer, 1 M10 split washer, and using 1 M10x20 socket head cap screws. Insert the hardware, and fully tighten the screw using the provided number 10 Allen key. Once the screw is secured, cover the hardware by inserting the finish cap. Repeat these steps, and make sure both crank arms are fully secured. Next, locate the left pedal assembly and attach it to both the roller and the mounts located on the vertical stride arm. Slowly set the pedal assembly into place. Attach the pedal assembly to the vertical stride arm, using 1 M10x85 socket head cap screw, 1 M10 flat washer, and 1 M10 nylon lock nut. Insert the screw all the way through, and fully tighten the screw using the provided number 10 Allen key. Repeat these steps, and attach the second foot pedal assembly on the opposite side. Once both pedal assemblies are in place, proceed installing the lower crank arm, bearing covers. Place a bearing cover with the boss section facing the crank arm, and lower it into place. Repeat these steps for the opposite side, and attach the second bearing cover. Finally, locate the front side of the vertical stride arm, and attach the knuckle covers. Starting with the front knuckle cover, push it in place covering all hardware, and fully attach it using 1 M15x15 screw. Fully tighten the screw using a Phillips screwdriver. Take care not to over-tighten the screw. Once the cover is in place, move the arm to ensure there is enough clearance to attach the back knuckle cover. Secure the cover using 1 M15x15 screw. Fully tighten the screw using a Phillips screwdriver. Take care not to over-tighten the screw. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Step 6 is now complete. Step 7, installing the covers, and rear step. Begin step 7 by locating the lower, back side of the elliptical, and attaching the base, end cap cover. Push the base, end cap cover into place, covering the bottom section of the fixed handrail. Fully secure the cover inserting 4 Phillips sheet metal screws, on each side of the cover. Insert the screws into the allocated holes, and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Take care not to over-tighten the screws. Tighten the screws on both sides of the cover. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Once both covers are secured, locate the O-ring gaskets located on the bottom of each rail, and slowly slide them down. Slide the O-ring gaskets down onto the side shroud plastics. The O-rings should conceal gaps between the handrail and surrounding plastic shrouds. Next, locate the front cover, and place it on the bottom, front side of the elliptical, covering the upright base plates. Locate the power cord and plug it into the allocated hole in the assembly. Ensure the power cord has plenty of slack, and will not be pinched under the elliptical. Secure both ends of the front cover, using a total of 12 Phillips sheet metal screws. Insert the screws through the allocated holes on the front cover, and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Take care not to over-tighten the screws. Next, locate the upright mounting cover, and slowly slide the plastic mounting cover down, one on each side of the upright leg. The cover should conceal gaps between the upright and surrounding plastic shrouds. Slowly slide the plastic mounting covers down, one on each side of the upright leg. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Next, locate the rear step, and align it to the bottom, back rail of the elliptical. Slowly slide the rear step into place. Fully attach the rear step using two M6x25 screws. Insert the screws through the rear step and set them in place. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Take care not to over-tighten the screws. Next, if you wish to adjust the height of the machine, adjust the bottom leveling feet. Verify the stability of the equipment by adjusting the feet as required using a 19 mm open-end wrench. Visually inspect that all 6 leveling feet are properly leveled and fully attached. Finally, plug the elliptical power cord into a dedicated power outlet. Ensure the power cord has plenty of slack and will not be pinched beneath the elliptical. Congratulations! You have now completed the assembly of the Landice E7, E9, 90 series elliptical. Before using the elliptical, please make a final inspection. You may now remove any protective covers from the face of the console. Please inspect the machine to ensure that all fasteners are tight and components are properly assembled. Do not use until the elliptical has been fully assembled and inspected for correct performance in accordance with the assembly manual. Please reference the assembly manual for workouts, troubleshooting, and other program features. Enjoy your new E7, E9, 90 series elliptical. Brought to you by Landice.